Alright, right here, what you're listening to right now is a copy of what occurred inside of the Hall of Justice on February 20th, 2013, in reference to me being sexually harassed by 2 San Diego Sheriff's officers inside of the Hall of Justice. As a running recording, tape recorder was recording. Now, the reason why I made a copy of it was because I cannot trust this. I'm a target of organized stalking, which can also be called gang stalking. Since organized stalking targets experience what is known as street theaters by the perpetrators, street theaters being nothing but staged events, where they basically stage an event in order to frame the situation, the event, in order to frame the result, the benefit and the effect of the event, which can include arrest, illegally petitioning a target into county mental health or an area neighborhood hospital into the psychiatric floor, where then at that time evidence can be stolen, money can be stolen, food stamp cards can be stolen. My name is Leslie Williams. I'm in San Diego, California. So what I did was I took the audio file from the actual recorder that caught the sexual harassment and transferred it over to this one. And then over the last month I bought this right here, which is basically nothing but a speaker in order to amplify the sound so things can be heard more clear. But what I want you to understand is that as this situation was going on between the conversation that was going on between me and these San Diego Sheriff's officers, one of them by the name of Cortez, excuse me, there was a lot of background noise going on inside of the Hall of Justice. But right after I transfer over the pertinent section of the audio file, which includes the sexual harassment, I'm going to make some statements concerning what you got to listen for. So I'm going to just go ahead and transfer it over to you right now. Okay, this occurred on February 20th, 2013. I'm in San Diego, California. My name is Leslie Williams. A lot happened that day. So just listen to this, and then I'm going to explain to you after it what you where the sexual harassment happened at. And all right. Well, first thing I'm going to do is just copy it over to this video file right now. Then once the copying is done, I'll make some statements. So go ahead and listen right now.
He does. I see.
Wait a minute. All right, go ahead. Listen.
He does. I see.
What do you got in the bag?
You can search it if you want. I'll let you. Got a question.
Okay.
If 911 is called, or if somebody like...
Oh, by the way, what I also want you to do is I want you to listen extremely attentively and closely. Do you hear at any time any words that sound like gang stalker, gang stalking, or gang stalk, or any words that got the phonics of it? Example, listen to this. 2 separate words got the same phonics. Gang stalk, game stop. Gang stalk, game stop. Gang stalk, game stop. Okay? So listen for that happening in the background. You're going to listen for the word or the phonics of the word.
He does. I see.
What do you got in the bag?
You can search it if you want. I'll let you. Got a question.
Okay.
If 911 is called, or if somebody, like, say, a police officer or whatever, is calling to check on somebody's record, okay?
Why would anybody...
No, that's not my question. That's not my question.
Okay.
I know, but that's not my question. I'm leading up to it. I'm almost there.
We're going to let you finish.
Okay. I appreciate it. Somebody's calling and checking on somebody's license number.
All right.
Okay. Who do they call? Downtown or 911 or what? I mean,
So if a police officer is checking on someone else's record number?
yeah, and their license number, you know, the license number that's on their
If
license?
I'm like here running you?
Yeah, right, exactly. Who do you call? Alright, so you're calling dispatcher, like, where? I mean, is it at the city level, the state level, or DMV, or what?
Ours would be the county.
Alright, so if, say, if a person comes from one state, takes their current license from that state, applies for a California license, gets an updated California license, the license that came from the Michigan license should transfer over to the California license, right? Because it's the same person.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
it's a different license. It's a totally different state.
Right, but if you check that license, like say if I still had that license, right, and I gave it to that person because I didn't have the California one out, and I gave it to that person, they would still be able to check to see that it would run into the California license. In other words, they would be able to eventually identify from that license that it was this person, right?
Have your basic info, yeah.
From the license.
Right.
Exactly. So there'd be no way that a misidentification of the person.
Not if they had your name and your date of birth, no.
I see. sheriff's department?
On a good day.
I see. Did you guys lose one of your own with that Chris Stormer thing?
No, we didn't.
Or was it Riverside County Sheriff's or something like that?
Yep.
Alright.
Yep. So.
He's very interested in my bag. I almost want to put it in his lap. You want to check my bag?
He was asking about it, so I thought I'll put it in.
You guys behave yourself.
Watch out for this girl here,
I appreciate you pointing that out.
Right.
And what's your name?
My name's
Cortez. And what you got there on your badge there?
Oh, that's from one of the deputies that was killed.
Really? Alright.
All right.
Well,
Let me give you one of these. That's what I like.
yeah, well, it was a privilege to shake my hand anyways. See you later. Alright, so I just wrapped up SDSU's first mistakes in the new audio file. Alright, listen what's in the second audio file, the next one. Remember how I said I was going to start a new audio file? I stopped that one that was recording and started this one. Listen. Bridge to Holly Justice. There's a little bridge in here. Totally cool. Business office. What you got there, young man? Oh, for trial though. The old presentations. Holy shit. This is not what I want. Do you hear Gangstalk me instead of Romney? I'll play this just for a couple more minutes. Are you guys lawyers? Are you allowed to hand out a business card in this building?
Sure.
Really? What kind of lawyer are you, if you don't mind me interrupting you?
We're not around here for consent.
Oh, I see. Alright, have a good day. Grand jury. Hey, do you know where the district attorney's office is? District attorney's office. What? District attorney's office. Okay, thanks. Sorry, thank you. Do you guys know where the district attorney's office is? Alright, I'm gonna rewind that just for a second because a bus went by. Offices. Okay, thanks. Sorry, thank you. Do you guys know where the district attorney's office is? Okay, it was right there. It was being said in the background as I was asking them women. I'm going to rewind it. I want you to listen. Okay. Now you're hearing, I think, at least one or maybe two women saying "gang stalk" around me. Just listen. district attorney's offices.
Okay, did you just hear a girl in the background say gang stalk? Alright, now, the reason why I'm making this video is that I'm eventually going to have to get an audio forensic technician, because what they can do is use computers to filter out the background noise. And the reason why I know this is because of many reasons, okay? But if you want to understand what I'm trying to tell you in reference to certain audio specialist forensic technicians having the ability to be able to take a recording and then drop the background noise as a result of the computers they have. Case in point, in order for you to be able to understand what I'm saying, have you ever seen that movie Fugitive with Harrison Ford and that other he's a real well-known character, I forgot his name, I'll probably think of it in a second. Anyway, the movie Fugitive is about Harrison Ford, and he tries to get away in order to be able to prove he's innocent, that he didn't kill his wife. Well, there's a part where Harrison Ford had called the FBI or the marshal's office or whatever, whoever was after him, and he made a phone call, and they got the tape of the phone call, and so they were playing the tape over and over again as they were sitting in a room. And what they were trying to do was try to guess where he was at. And so, in reference to the background noise. So what they did was they took the tape recording and they played it through a computer system that could filter out his voice and just pay attention to the background noise, and they ended up hearing some kind of a subway or a subway train and beeping and stuff like that. And so they were able to differentiate what kind of subways run at specific hours or in specific areas, and that's what I'm talking about. Now, as far as the sexual harassment goes, let me start the audit file over. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to play you up to the point where he sexually harassed me, and this is what he did. When I approached these San Diego Sheriff's officers inside the Hall of Justice, the reason why the tape recorder was running was because everywhere I go, and I have over the 700 audio files at least, proving that individuals are getting around me and saying, gang stalk, gang stalker, gang stalking, gang stalk, oh my god, weird, crazy, gang stalk, gang stalk, gang stalking, gang stalk. And another word that's got the initials HC in reverse. And that's a code word describing another word that they're getting around me and saying, which I believe they want me to talk about so that my viewers will have a different perception of me. That's right. And I'm not going to bring this up until I find the appropriate time. That's right. Now, and also, there's no reason at all that anybody in California, the whole entire state of California, should be getting around me and saying that word. That's right. There's no reason at all that they should know any information that would compel them to say that word around me. Not one. Now, alright, so listen to this. So, what I did was I approached these San Diego Sheriff's officers to ask them a question about my license. And I'll make another video concerning that. And when I do, I'll if I can remember, I'll put it in the description of this one, because I got so much going on, it's almost unbelievable. The reason for approaching these San Diego Sheriff's officers inside of the Hall of Justice on February 20, 2013 was to ask them a question about if a police officer checks an old license from another state, even if they hadn't got a current California license, once they came here, would they still be able to identify that person, okay, and their record, their whole entire record, who they were, and so on and so forth, in reference to the person's identity and what's on the record. That was my goal, because I'm trying to prove the corruption that happened towards me concerning a staged falsified arrest at SDSU on February 1st, 2013. Because I was exposing the gang stalking of me there. They knew it because cyber surveillance is a method of gang stalking, and so they seen that I was exposing them online, so they staged an arrest, and I can prove it. Anyways, so as I approached them and asked them this question, they asked me, what do you got in the black bag? Which actually is the same thing that the individual asked me at SDSU when that led up to the arrest. I had nothing in my black bag except for my lunch, some printout papers, and some things that I had just bought that day because it was payday on February 1st, 2013. So anyway, so I asked, and then the SDSU police used a reason that they said they couldn't identify me as a result of them checking my license. That's the reason why I asked these guys about my license. But as I approached them, the guy, one of the sheriff's officers, asked me, what do you got in that black bag? Then they asked me again, and then they kept staring at it. Okay? That's right. Now, then, as a result of me getting tired of them asking me and then continuing to stare at it, and they were even pointing at it, I said, you seem to be very interested in my bag. Would you like me to put it in my lap? It was actually a sarcastic statement that I was trying to infer while acting nice, so they couldn't try and say that I was acting hostile. That's right, because I already know about gang stalking was happening around me, which you just heard inside of the very building. Okay, so I wasn't going to give these guys any hooks to try and say that. What's your problem? Why are you being so direct? So it was an implied statement like, would you like to check my bag? I meant you jerk in my mind, while acting nice, because you can't give these people any hooks to try and